Good. It really is true, like if you restart, things work.
Yeah, a lot of times it's all it takes.
Okay, we are live streaming for Halloween.
Pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. It's 6:30, maybe it's all after, if everything worked up here for the live stream, so I will open up the August 13th, 2024 town council meeting at the Bradley Municipal Building, and we're also on Facebook live stream. All the town councilors are present this evening, as well as town councilor Melissa Doan. And I'll make a motion to accept the July 16th, 2024 town council minutes as presented.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded about the minutes from the last meeting. Any comments, corrections on those? If not, we'll vote. Jim?
Aye.
Dwayne?
Aye.
Charlie?
Aye.
Harry?
Aye.
Marks and I. The next thing on the agenda is citizens' requests.
Oh, hi. Hi. My citizen requested just wondering what's happening with the Poultry property. You can answer that if it's something.
Yeah, for sure. So he was given 21 days to enter the property and remove his items, and that ended on July 28th. And a lock was installed on the property, and so now the lock, it is locked. I was gonna update the council about that later, but I can do it right now. So yeah, it's locked up, and so I guess the next step is for us to set up a meeting to actually, the town council to go to the property.
And from there, make a decision on what.
I really don't know. I mean, I went to the property a couple times last week, or I've been going a couple times a week, and I haven't seen a lot of progress, but I heard from the neighbors that that stuff was removed. Looking in the windows, it doesn't look like anything was removed, but I'm sure there was. Out of the garage. I did hear I heard people saying toolboxes, he was removing toolboxes from the garage. There is a lot of household garbage in the property, and you look and you can see that so I'm not sure if any of us are gonna wanna go in it. But yeah, we can see the property, maybe walk the property and go from there.
Would it be appropriate to have a dumpster brought in and have somebody clean it out first, or?
I don't know, I think we should go look at it and make a determination. My first thoughts on it is that, we go through the process of condemning the property. Which we tried to do at 114 Cram Street. The difference between that and this property is 114 Cram Street, has an occupant. And obviously 43 Highland Avenue does not, and the town of Bradley technically owns that, so it does possibly fall under the criteria of causing public harm. And the town council, as we've learned over the years, has that authority to make that determination. And if it is deemed inhabitable, then maybe the process is simply demoing the property and the contents that are in it, instead of trying to get a dumpster to clean it out.
Would we still be, I mean, like I said, it'd be good to go look at the property, would we still be, needing to follow the rules, the new rules after
Yeah.
the building's down? Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Still have to get a realtor to,
That would be part of the whole process, I think. I mean, that could be part of the cost, you know, this obviously needs legal opinion before we would move forward with that, but that would be part of the cost of getting the property salvageable. And we don't have to get a realtor if we don't put it up for sale. If we're gonna keep it, we're gonna have to have an appraisal done on the property. And then once the appraisal comes in, minus all of our costs, then that's what we turned to the prior owner.
right,
So all of our costs would include the appraisal.
The appraisal, I'm thinking the demo,
Yeah.
and the process that we would go through to condemn the property. Again, this would need to have a conversation with our attorney, but that's what I'm thinking.
how long has it been vacant? I think you've told us, but,
I'm gonna say over a year or two.
2 years.
Two,
No, since he's been
No,
living
since
since,
last November.
last November.
He had been coming and going, wasn't always there, because he was in the hospital for several months. And then when he came home, it wasn't livable, and he ended up living in his car in the driveway.
In determining habitability, would it be worthwhile to have a code enforcement officer go over?
Yeah, and I probably will invite him to the meeting in which town council we all go to, and then we can all be part of that conversation together. Yep,
Is this gonna constitute something that requires public notice?
yep, it will be a regular meeting.
So could we do that like before our next council meeting, an hour early, or?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, as long as nobody, well, I don't think anybody's gonna wanna go in, because if you go in, I think you're gonna have to go home and take a shower. Or, you know, get some suits or something, yeah,
Wow.
yeah. So yeah, we can do it whenever, it's just gonna be a posted regular meeting.
and the public would be welcome to go and peek through the windows as well.
Yeah.
like I have a concern about anything historical in there. Because Kenneth Coulter, who originally owned the house, was the treasurer of this town forever. And, when I went in, Terry, after his mother died, I called him and I asked him, was there anything historical that he'd like to give to the town? And he said, well, there are a few things. He said, come on over. I went over with a box and picked up some dishes and a few other things. But he said, I know there's a lot of stuff up in the attic. He said, but I haven't been up there, right? So my concern is, what's in the attic? You know, I know that the furniture in that house is old, as is everything in there, but my concern is what's in the attic. And I know the rats come and go in,
Left in the attic.
yeah, yeah, and there were a lot of things like his. I don't know what relation was, what you call it.
That's a cousin.
Cousin. Yeah, cousin across the street, whose mother was there, was Kenneth's first wife. Get it right?
I think that's
Yeah.
right.
Anyway, and so she asked him, could she go and take her mother's things out? I know there were things in there.
Grandmother's,
And
grandmother's.
So. If it's demolished and not looked at, that's be sad to lose it, you know, whatever's there, and so. I don't know.
Yeah, but like you say, we'll have to go take a look and make an assessment. I mean, it may mean that somebody would have to go with like hazmat material, hazmat or
Yeah.
team to go and look, and would they know what they're looking at? Bring out, I don't know.
Yeah,
Sorry.
I think that's, my concern is who's gonna go in,
Right,
what harm is gonna happen to that person when they go in.
yeah.
Even if you have hazmat and you've got a backpack on and all that, you gotta worry about, are the stairs safe for that much weight?
Right.
You know, all that kind of stuff, you know.
There was the liability of people going into that.
I'm not even sure that there's stairs, I'm thinking it's an overhead thing or something, I don't know. I can't remember from being in there.
I can't
But,
remember.
yeah, no.
No,
But anyway, I know I can't do anything unless you tell me I can do it.
We're not
Well, we don't
looking-
want, I certainly don't want you in.
Yeah.
I wanna go in.
You need to contact legal just for the liability side of things and going
Yeah.
in.
Yeah. I totally agree. I would like to have the council go and look at it. We can kind of talk about what my next steps would be. I like to limit my conversations with our attorney because they're very expensive. So if I can have one conversation about, listen, this is what we're thinking. We want to go through this process, inhabitable. We'd like to have it demoed. We have some residents that think there might be something with historical value. What's our liability of putting somebody in there? That's kind of the framework that I'm kind of thinking.
And I had one more thing.
Oh, absolutely.
And this may be way down the line, but my son was reminding me that our house is like 8 feet from the property line. From the house on the side to his driveway and also the back of our garage to his property. So whatever you do with it, if we could get a little bit of land around. Cause I don't know the regulations of it, but that's something we would be interested in if we could purchase. Even just a small amount, just to give us a little bit of a perimeter around our house.
Yeah, thank you for that, for sharing that.
Which tells you I live right beside the cul-de-sac.
Left or right?
When you're
Right.
on the right.
Right.
School's on the other side, we're on the right.
She don't know where to live.
I have to go like this, let me think.
Any other citizens requests for this evening? Okay,
I'm gonna shut up
Mhm.
for a minute.
we'll jump down to number 5, managers report.
Okay, so the tax billing was completed on July 17th. And today, as of today, we received 6 requests to speak with the assessing agent, Mark. I have fielded about 12 calls, including those 6. So, it's been pretty good. He will be in the office on the 23rd to meet with the residents that want to speak to him, and we're trying to make appointments, but that's what we have thus far. Any questions about that?
Any anticipation, like, once the bills come closer to being due, that you might?
I don't believe so. The first week when the bills went out was when the calls started coming in, like I anticipated that would be the case. But like we got one today, so they are kind of flagging through or whatever, but, for the most part, if I'm able to talk to somebody, I'm able to explain it really well. I put some information on our website, that I directed people to, and they seem to respond well to that. I also, April and I worked on we took sales from the last 3 years and we have the spreadsheet available for us. So if somebody is questioning real estate on Main Street, I can look at property that sold over the last 3 years on Main Street and give them the cost of what that property sold for and what we have it valued for. So that's been kind of helpful, with people to kind of get an understanding. When the conversations first started, it was basically, well, we had to go up to full market value. Do you think that you could sell your property for what we have it valued at? And the answer has been yes. But it's just a change from the value that they had, which was the 2006 values of property, so.
You know, the 6 requests, people who wanted to speak with Mark in person are gonna be able to make it on the 23rd?
Yes, I've talked to them all
Oh,
today.
good.
Yeah, I've set all their appointments up today.
I haven't heard any negative.
You haven't? No. I think what happened there is that Clifton also did a reevaluation or
Yes.
something,
They're not as,
and it saved us.
they're not as pleased.
They're not as pleased. So, yeah, I think that was our saving grace there.
Well, I kind of prepared them at the June
Yeah.
annual meeting.
Yeah, and I had sent some information to the
Yeah.
association also of talking with Mark about conversations and I didn't give them any number, and you know, the association, any exact numbers, but
Yes.
I was very forthright, but said from 40 to 55%. You know what camps or homes out there are going to, and I think it worked out okay, you know, I haven't had a lot of feedback. So I think that putting that information on the website has really helped. I think people are going there. And because I've heard people, I've had a couple emails saying, well, it says on the website, I should contact you, and then, so I think that information is being well received.
Yeah.
So,
And the letter as well that went out with the.
Yeah.
Yeah.
okay, I provided a memo to you, what seems like a long time ago, regarding nonprofit requests. So each year, the town council, well, not each year, but last year, in our municipal budget, we budgeted $11,000 to go to nonprofits. And I typically, at the beginning of the year, kind of ask you what you want to do. You want to do any appropriations at this time? Last year, we gave money to Northern Light Hospice, Community Health and Counseling, Eastern Agency on Aging, Old Town Museum, Maine Forest and Logging Museum, and we also dedicated some monies to some new flags that are displayed in town. So I just was kind of seeing if we wanted to do something now, or wait a little bit, or what?
And the ones below are the new requests.
Those are
Requests from
requests.
last year.
Those are requests that we received during the budget
During the
process.
budget
Yeah.
process.
I personally worked with Welcome to Housing, through my job. Working with the elderly, and getting them back home, getting them the equipment they need to be able to ambulate and those sorts of things. They've been really helpful with when somebody doesn't have, the money to purchase those things, or insurance isn't going to get that equipment approved fast enough so that person can go home as soon as they want, and be safe. So, that was one that I would definitely support. In addition to that, they help, teenagers, that are, leaving the foster care system, aging out of the foster care system, helping them with their first apartment, things like that for different things that they need. So I definitely would support that organization.
Old Town Museum, it's probably just fun, we do all the time, there's a note here that Dan has a case there, display case,
We have two.
2 display cases now.
We used to have three, but the other one disappeared.
And depending what you find in the attic.
The third or fourth, you never know. Thank you for that support, Charlie.
Thank you, Charlie.
I don't come here just for fun.
Melissa, your note on the Maine Forest and Logging Museum says that it's received typically in February.
Yes, so each year they do a sponsorship booklet, and we have a little, just our logo with our address and our website, nothing major, but it's usually that is $300. But Council Wade last year donated 100, so we were able to do a bigger,
I would do again this year too.
yeah.
So is that something that we should act on now, or wait until it comes?
We should definitely, if you wanna contribute, you know, we should make a consideration that we would hold that $300 till February.
For the flags, the 250 last year, is any money needed there?
Yes, he needed those funds, and we had that amount left over in the nonprofit, so that's what we used him for.
I noticed there's a few more that are down now.
Yes, after
Big wins,
Saturday.
maybe we need to still put some more there.
Yeah, I mean, we can hold off on any donation and do at the end of the year. I just typically like to make you aware of the request and if there's anything that we need to do, if you wanna do something right now.
Would Mark know, maybe we'd ask Mark about money, the 250 last year, but you know, what he thinks he would need this year.
We did budget $500 towards flags in this current budget as well,
Separate from the donation.
separate from the
Okay.
donations, yeah.
So maybe we don't need a line item there then. Maybe.
I know we've been working with Lake Stewards of Maine. In terms of keeping the purity of the pond
Mhm.
in mind, and they've been very, very helpful.
Any other thoughts on any of the other organizations listed?
It's the two that I look at is the Old Town Project graduation and the Arnold High School service. Senior trip, how does that affect the fact that we've got people going to other high schools and everything else and. You know, that's just, it's all part of this school choice thing.
When I look at, the amount of money that we made available, it's $1,000. That really doesn't go very far when some of the single agencies are requesting 500.
Mhm.
So,
Yeah, I don't think we've been able to. You know, from what the requests were in the past, even meet, you know, the amount, but we've been able to distribute the $1,000 that we do have.
Could, for those private graduations for those two high schools, look at it as about how many high schoolers from Bradley go and designate a certain amount of money equally for those two high schools as an idea.
Yeah, but then what happens is you also have several other high schools that they're going to. So those aren't the only two that we have people going to, so,
Right, but these are the only two thus far.
but once they hear that you're doing those, the others will come in and say, oh, well, we'd like to have some too.
Say, wait till next year.
I mean, project graduation, I save all my bottles and cans, and they go around, they collect them. They get $40-50 out of the bottles and cans. I prefer the kids getting out and asking for something, and then I can support them by doing something that way. Rather than have the town just, the kids will never know about it.
I think we donated, I don't know, not last year, I know we've donated to the Old Town Project graduation in the past, because I remember Milford gave a lot more money than we gave that
Mhm.
year.
Then again, it's supporting Bradley residents. So the way I see it is regardless what high school they come from. You know, it's getting that certain amount to that high schooler, but
And we could stick with just Old Town, too, I mean, if that's, you know,
you can't,
we're part of the RSU, so
can't be a ton of them.
we can't, we don't have any, not insight, but we don't have any say in what Warren does or John Maps does. They have some of our students, but.
And we're only looking at seniors, the senior projects, so.
Well.
A lot of
you
things
guys-
highlighted.
I know, right? If you'd like to just take some time and maybe we can readdress it later on as, you know, the year progresses. I just wanted to bring those requests to your attention.
Yeah, let's maybe take it back and
Okay.
table it and. Maybe put some recommendations for an upcoming meeting
Okay.
with dollar amounts around.
One of the things that I had put in my road budget was doing crack sealing to our roads that's going around with hot rubber and filling in the cracks so water can't get underneath the pavement. And so I called a couple different vendors and I only received one response, and that was from Mainly Seal Coating. And they provided me a cost of $14,850 to do all of the crack sealing for all of our roads. And so that's well within my budget. My budget was 20, so that's, I'm going to move forward with that. But while he was here, I also asked him to look at our driveway. So the last time our driveway, the municipal parking lot, the salt shed, fire station, post office and us was done was in 2022. And we typically do it every 5 to 10 years, but there's a ton of cracks out there. And he and I walked it, and I'm just really concerned that if we don't do something, we're going to end up ruining the pavement. So he gave me a couple of different options. Number one, he could, do the entire parking lot and restripe it for 14,950. Or we could just have the cracks sealed for a cost of $7,000. So I did not have that in my municipal building projects, but it is in our capital improvement plan. So we could take the funds out of our capital reserves. Or we could, instead of in our budget was $21,000, which we were going to deposit into our municipal capital reserves, we could take the 14,950 or the $7,000 out of that deposit if we wanted to move forward with the parking lot work.
The larger amount is that to seal coat everything? Or
Yes.
just seal coat everything and then restripe it?
Yeah,
And that was how much again, I'm sorry?
14,950.
I would advocate for that. It seems to me just doing the cracks
Mhm.
is gonna be
Band-Aid.
costly. It's
Yeah.
Band-Aid.
Yeah,
Might as well do the whole thing.
Yeah,
When they do the whole surface, it must fill in the crack too. to
yes,
some degree.
absolutely, absolutely, yeah.
I
Yeah,
agree with Charlie.
Because the other amount was half of that, was 7,000.
Yes.
Yeah,
yeah,
for just the cracks.
just a crack, yeah,
Makes sense.
okay.
And they'll do municipal building, fire station, salt shed, not next door,
And next.
and next door,
Mhm.
and the post office. Okay.
That's very good. Does that need to be a motion?
Sure.
I would make a motion that we spend the 14,950 for the complete seal on the parking lots.
I second that.
Motion's been made and seconded, so it's a seal and restripe. Any other questions, comments? Not will vote, Jim,
Aye.
Dwayne,
Aye.
Charlie,
Aye.
Larry,
Aye.
Mark's and I.
So, on October 3rd at noon time, I will be installed as the president of Maine Municipal Association, and the town council is invited to attend. So if anybody wants to go, if you could just kind of give me a heads up, and I can kind of get your registration in progress. You should get an official letter from Maine Municipal, but they've asked me to kind of give a feel to anybody who wants to go. It is in Augusta, and it's at noon time, and I am probably gonna talk for 10 minutes, if that.
Thursday?
It is a Thursday, yeah, but it is a swearing in, possibly swearing in.
If we go, you talk to 15.
If you go, I'll probably talk 7.
I will try to 10 minutes. Put me down, put me down.
Okay,
What,
can find
what
it.
time is it in
at
Augusta?
noon,
Noon.
yeah, at the Civic Center,
And the date again?
October 3rd.
Civics.
In tonight's warrant is our county tax bill for $228,000, $228,452. So I need the town council to sign the assessors.
So there was one in there that.
In there.
Did you sign this one?
Yeah, I
I just
signed.
need one signed.
There.
That's fine, that's
All
perfect.
set?
Yep. At the last meeting, we discussed the Community Resilience Partnership, in which there might be some funding that was available to the town of Bradley. The purpose of the partnership is to make Bradley more resilient to extreme weather events, but some of the items in which funding is available is for green space development. So my instant thought was the ball field development. And so the workshop, the next step on that is to have a community workshop. And the partnership hopes to have Bradley residents attend a meeting and a workshop to, I know.
That's why I came.
To provide input on the items that the specialist will talk to us about. So that is scheduled for September 11th at 6 o'clock at the municipal building here. And we're really hopeful to have some residential input. So, spread the word. Bradley residents.
Yes, ma'am.
Well, let me look, you just put on page 2 of that, the paper you sent up.
Yeah,
It's got like priority 1, priority 2, priority 3. Is that what they're gonna be looking for?
they're gonna be looking to help us set our priorities, yeah. And whatever the citizens prioritize will hopefully engage us in some potential funding. The Blackman Stream project is complete. The wear is, at the levels that it's supposed to be. The, improvements are completed at the Fishway. Payments have been made to the vendors, and I've received today reimbursement from the state of Maine. So the next step that I'm going to attempt is to form a Blackman Stream Dam Commission. And I'm hopeful that with representations from each of our entities, Maine Forest and Logging, Town of Bradley, Town of Clifton, Town of Eddington, Chimo Pond Association, Maine Department of Environmental Protection, and Marine Department of Marine Resources, we can come up with a mechanism to hopefully maintain a good water level and protect our fisheries. So that's on my calendar for the fall.
Great.
Great,
Good,
great, great.
terrific.
Yeah, I'm really
I tried to
happy.
get down there on that Thursday.
Yeah.
after our meeting.
Have you been down to see it?
Well, I started and then the moose flies kind of
Yeah.
carried me away, so.
Yeah, my hint is going on Tuesday, because the gate is open and you can
Oh,
drive
we can
down
drive down. Excellent.
there.
Good advice.
It's pretty neat. It looks pretty good.
Does it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm really happy with the way it came out. I obviously don't know really specifically what I'm looking at, but it looks really natural and, I was down there a couple weeks ago when the water was a little, we hadn't received the amount of rain that we'd seen over the last week, and you could tell that it was really working. So, really hopeful.
Did they do anything with the other side?
They haven't done anything with the other side. And that's what I'm kind of hopeful on this commission thing, that we will be able to kind
Figure
of,
that out. Yeah,
yeah, figure that out. We have about $5,000 saved that we've received from Maine Forest and Lawn Museum in Eddington, Clifton, and Bradley has been appropriating money for the last couple of years.
yeah,
So we're already in the process, we have it in our general fund, so we're already there. I just need to do the rest of the work.
great. Good news.
Another thing that I learned through the completion of that project is that Department of Marine Resources, DMR, has submitted permits to allow for the commercial harvesting of alewives from Blackman Stream. Yeah, and that's really cool because they have been collecting data for about the last 10 or 12 years. And they finally have enough data to feel that we can allow a harvest and not hurt the fisheries. And by law, the towns control that harvest, and they do so in the form of revenue. The town of Bennington has received almost $450,000 from 2009 to 2022. So that's a really cool thing. We would have to probably do it, I'm assuming, with conjunction with Maine Forest and Logging Museum, because I'm sure the harvest would have to be on their property, because the only place that the town owns anything on Blackman Stream, well, actually, the state owns the bridge area where it crosses Route 178, and the traffic there is not conducive to that. So it's just something we'll learn more about, and I'll share more with you when I know more.
Do we know anything about companies that do that kind of harvesting?
I don't
Or
know.
is it just fishermen?
I don't know that much about it. I don't know. I just saw the revenue.
That's a big deal, yeah.
You know,
It is, it is.
how they're, getting that revenue, maybe through.
It's through
hunting,
licensing. and-
Licensing
Yeah,
and,
yeah,
License, yeah.
yeah.
So it's like
Permitting.
collecting smells.
Yes,
Yeah.
That,
yeah,
well,
yeah, yeah. So,
Just to give you an idea, I get the reports from the dam in Milford of what they've gone through. There's been 5.5 million have gone through the dam in Milford this year alone.
alewives,
Yeah, it's incredible amount.
I bet you that has gone through Gene
Yeah,
Blackman Stream.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was down there this spring.
it's black.
You could walk across there, there's so
Yeah.
many fish.
yeah.
It's really
Yeah.
amazing.
That's the highest count of anything going through the
Yeah.
Milford Dam is the alewives.
just wanted to kind of let you know, the Champion the Cure will be using the parking lot this Saturday. They've been doing it for several years. It's part of their challenge. They use it for a stop. So if you see activity going on, I do know about it. I am on vacation tomorrow and I won't be back until I'm hoping I will fly back on Monday. We'll see how that goes, but just to let you know, I am gonna be out of the office. The fall cleanup has been set for October 12th. Same procedure as in the spring, 8 to 12, $15 per resident. You might remember a couple weeks ago, I talked to you about, we were going to switch from voice over internet to Consolidated Communications. That was attempted and that is not going to work for the town of Bradley. We lost our phone service for a full day. Our internet was kind of a mess. So I'm going on to step 2. I talked to Spectrum and they've given me a quote. And I'm waiting to talk to them again about a final quote because I'd like to see if they can do a better deal on the internet. They need to upgrade our internet speeds, which we can do here, but it's an extra cost, so I'm still working on that. I also talked to HCP, who is the IT vendor that we use, and helped me come out of the situation on Wednesday. And they also offer that service, so I'm still getting some quotes together, but I should have some more information for you by the next meeting. I will say the conversations with Consolidated, which is something that we talked about previous, is that they are trying to bring Fidium to the town of Bradley. So that was a really good experience for that because they really saw what was needed. Because it didn't work at all, like completely disconnected everything.
What happened today?
I don't know, but something with a switch somewhere and I don't know. It was a mess.
Missy, there's that big initiative with Maine Broadband. Would they be willing to come over and help and kind of advise?
So I
I
talked
thought
to,
that's what they're for, right?
the BEAD is this new thing that's going on, and I talked to Maine Connectivity Authority. And I also talked to a gentleman from Eastern Maine Development Corporation, who is our broadband regional contact. He said because we are served so well, the 3% that isn't and the underserved is still served, we're not gonna be eligible for any of that funding, that BEAD funding. Our best alternative is to try to communicate with vendors like this Councilor Duncan has suggested to see about getting them to come to Bradley. And he's working on getting me governmental contacts for Consolidated, which is Fidium, and Go Net Speed. So we're working.
Have you thought about bringing Starlink in also?
I looked at the Starlink and offered what it is. I don't know if the town can do anything on it. I will tell you, my neighborhood, I live in a little subdivision. And we have had a lot of problems with Spectrum over the last couple of weeks. And 50% of my neighbors are going to Starlink.
Yeah.
They're just buying the equipment. I guess there's like a deal right now too.
And that's a gig. The speed is a gig, so whatever Spectrum tells you,
Yeah,
they're gonna up it to 750
yeah,
megabytes per second. A gig is way better.
yeah,
And the nice thing about Starlink is that if you have a power outage, it's because the lines go out and take down not only the power lines, but it takes down the cable and everything else. You lose everything.
yeah,
With the generator we get power back, but you
Yeah.
still can't get your internet.
right.
But if you had Starlink, you would have it back. You had it on all the time. And you said you had somebody out, Chimo that has that, right?
Oh, yeah, Sharon.
Sure.
Ryan does.
Maybe he would come in and talk to you about what he has.
Yeah.
Because every ship at sea today has it. And you don't lose it. You go anywhere you want to go in the world, you have it.
Mhm.
I think he pays 136 a month.
But still, by the time you jack the Spectrum cost up.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
Yeah,
That's private resident, that's what he's paying.
I talked with Ryan, he's very, very happy with it.
Oh, yeah. And his brother lives on the other side and he has the same thing and he's quite happy too.
So Melissa, it's gonna be a matter of building some infrastructure to get this done. And in the meantime, you're talking about voice over internet with Spectrum?
We can do voice over internet with either Spectrum or HCP, using Spectrum internet.
Okay.
We can even do it with the internet that we have now, the speed that we have now. They would just like to see an better upgraded speed, which is available to us. It's just the cost, trying to figure out the cost.
I do VoIP through Spectrum
Yeah,
in my house,
yeah.
but the Spectrum speed is horrible.
I didn't realize how lucky we were until Wednesday. So, yeah, it was bad. It was,
I'm
and
getting-
I'm technically challenged, like, I'm happy that worked tonight. Because otherwise, I don't, I technically am, but you figure it out really quick.
I follow a lot of community comments about various things in the neighborhood, right? And I've seen some of your neighbors, they are indeed
Yeah.
mad.
Yes, well, and I love that, because that means I don't really have to do anything, because they're mad enough that I know that they're gonna,
A
yeah,
lot of complaints.
lot of complaints, yep, yep. I think that's all I have for my manager's report.
Any other questions on the manager's report? If not, we'll jump down to new business. New business from you, Missy?
None for me.
Any new business from the council? If not, we'll jump down to unfinished business. Unfinished business from you, Missy?
None for me.
Any unfinished business from the council?
Nothing new on 114.
I sent an email today. I probably sent it a little late, but I haven't heard any more, but I did request an update today.
And I probably missed this, and maybe should have gone above the new business, but we saw or received an email, or maybe there's been a couple other notifications coming up about a public hearing for the sidewalk project.
Yeah, so, DOT obviously, you remember that we got that grant, through Maine DOT to improve our sidewalks. So part of the process is having public comments submitted, regarding the sidewalk project. And that link is available on our website and also on our Facebook page.
So it's all online, it's not.
It is online, there's not gonna be an actual meeting.
Any other unfinished business? Oh, yes.
The sign, where's the sign?
So Kevin Giroux had some surgery.
Yeah, they have
Yeah.
good places.
Yeah, and the sign's free, so.
I know, but I just wondered, who's gonna do that before snow falls, you know?
Oh, I don't know if we get it before snowfall. I didn't give him a date.
Oh.
But no, I know he just did have some surgery, so.
I just,
I
what are you looking for?
Thank you for asking. If there's no other unfinished business, I'll make a motion to accept the municipal warrants that were presented this evening. Motion's been made and seconded to accept the warrants as presented. Any questions on any of the warrants that we looked at? Thought we'll vote. Jim,
Aye.
Dwayne,
Aye.
Charlie,
Aye.
Mary, Marcus and I. We'll check maybe the live stream, see if we have anything there.
Oh, we have some comments. Missy, you have a thought about citizens of the town or whatever want to pay for the flags and dedicate them to deceased veterans, then add that dedication to the names of the town report. That's a really good idea. A resident, did you understand that? That's a really great idea. Another one, is there any way Bradley could have a yearly trash curbside pickup? It would be helpful for senior citizens who do not have a truck or any way to haul trash to the location. So we have done curbside pickups way in the past, but what happened is people were adding items to the trash. So people from out of town would bring their stuff to Bradley, and also people would take away. So people would have randoms at their driveway, but we could look into hiring somebody to go around to some residents that need
I
assistance.
think that's a real good idea.
Yeah.
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 So,
And if it's not too much, I mean,
and if it,
somebody
right,
can call in and say, can you?
Right.
help? But,
but
yeah, even before we started selling the tickets or having April or you check the names, I remember the
Yeah.
same issue. People were coming from all.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So we could definitely, if there's a need, I'll definitely write down, Regine's name and, try to reach out to her. And we can try to help arrange for somebody to go around and help pick up items.
She may know of others.
Yes, exactly, yep, so,
What happens if we put a notice out there that this service is gonna be available and we get 600 people?
yeah, I mean, we need to frame that notice for the elderly and disabled.
Right, I agree.
Not somebody who's not gonna be around on October twelfth. So, yeah. Yep. And that's all we have, but I would like to thank the
Yes.
public
Yeah.
for commenting.
That's a good one. Absolutely.
Yes,
So the next meeting is set for 2 weeks from today, August 27th. If you cannot make it, please let the other counselors in the town office know, same time, same place. Some
You let us know if there's gonna be that 1 hour earlier and go to look at. the
Oh,
property.
great.
yeah, I should know the weather within a week, right? I mean, last Saturday, it was gonna rain all day and it was gorgeous all day, but, do you wanna plan on that? Let's plan on meeting at 5 o'clock over there.
Do it while it's nice out still.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and then,
Yeah, sure.
okay,
I will likely be absent for that meeting,
okay,
so.
You can put on your hazmat and go early.
Yeah,
Yeah,
well,
sure.
I'd have to do it from Rockland, so.
so I'll post that on the agenda. The meeting will start at 5 at 43 Highland Avenue and then come back here.
5:30?
I think we do 5.
Five.
I mean, just to get us back over here and,
Okay.
we're not rushing to try to get back here at 6:30. You guys usually show up at 6 anyway, so.
Yeah.
Okay,
Is it just for councils or can?
no, it's a public meeting.
Be there? I'll be there. She lives next door.
Do you have a hazmat suit?
I'll work on it.
I just have one other quick question about that. I mean, I driven by the property. Is there a way to get around or is the grass? 3
It's
feet
grass,
tall?
yeah, so wear long pants and long boots, tall boot. I've walked it, and I did walk it with boots and I didn't get any ticks on me, so but that was, in March or April, but yeah.
You take a class picture.
Oh,
So I think all we need for this evening is a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
And I'm in.
Thank you.
Yeah.
You.
Thank you.
One thing that's been nice about having all the work.